I want them sentenced to death. They are causing people
Please follow the road for 700 feet.
gangrene. They are causing people. I gotta make sure I get gas in the morning. Gangrene.
Now turn left and then turn left. In 100 feet at the end of the road, turn right and then turn slight left.
So, like I said, I went to my cousin's engagement, and they wanted to talk and talk and talk and talk in my head, so that so that they could isolate me away from everybody, so I'm not in conversation with people. People aren't there seeing me, talking to me, taking photos with me. They wanted to try and isolate me, so they kept talking in my head. On top of the fact that while I've been on my drive home, they've been talking in my head, taking control of my vehicle. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. They're causing me a stroke right now. A stroke. That's what the fuck these bitches do. They murder people by heart attacks, by causing them gangrene and amputating them.
Sorry, what can I get for you?
Can I get one large fries, please?
One large french fry?
Yeah, and can you light on the salt?
Sure, large french fry, light salt. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Alright, total at that second window, $6.24. Thank you.
Thank you. So the women, what it seems like to me, the women get involved when it's like they're talking in people's heads, when they're raping women, it's not when it's like blood and gore. It's like when they're causing someone a heart attack, when they're sending someone to the hospital, when they're damaging organs, ovaries, they're making women's hair fall out. That's the terrorist women, the women talking in my head in their organization. The women are like, it's almost like as though the women are assigned the tasks of things that are less gory, okay? Where the men are like doing they're actually trafficking people the same way the terrorist women are. But instead they're murdering them either by stabbing them, fucking decapitation, whatever these psycho men do to murder and initiate. And I was thinking today, the terrorists talking in my head. So there was a boy in Chicago by the name of Wadir, okay? A Palestinian boy. And his case doesn't make sense to me. And being that there are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head, saying, ha ha ha, we're murdering you, we're gonna fucking murder your daughter, we murdered 50 people. My friend Bernadette, David Basili, Daniel Atkins, CK, CJ, Thomas, Jerry, Amin and Sarah Assad, Morrow, Mark and Jacob Iskander, Shady, Dr. Georgie, my dad, murdered Le'Veon D'Lo. They murdered Aaliyah. They murdered what looks like Kobe Bryant. They murdered Florence Joyner Jr. And why I say Kobe Bryant, people may think this is crazy, but Kobe Bryant went to school with all of my friends from church, okay? And his wife, Vanessa, is best friends or was best friends with this girl named Christina Henna, who used to go to church with us. And Aaliyah, my cousins, were in her music video, okay, when they were little toddlers. My Florence Joyner Jr. lived in my complex.
Right?
I'm sorry?
Large fry, light salt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. $6.24. tonight? Can you receive or no?
No, I'm good.
Any ketchup? Any ketchup or no?
Ketchup, please. Murder. Plus, they cause murmurs. Thank you. They do both. So, my best friend from high school's her old boss's husband, okay, hung himself. These are all cases of people that were murdered by the terrorists talking in my head. Okay? And the stupid so one particular case that's standing out to me was Wadia, okay? Because the man that murdered them was their landlord, and they had lived there for quite some time. Wadia was like 7 or 8 years old. He got stabbed. He lived in Chicago, Illinois. Or somewhere in Chicago. I can't. Was it Chicago or it was Chicago. I think he was in Chicago. He got stabbed by the landlord 27 times because he's Palestinian. Because he's Palestinian, supposedly. But 27 times. And I started to think about how many fucking stupid terrorists I hear in my head. I hear at least 20 of these fucking psychos in my fucking head. And they're clearly they're on a shift. So it's like I'll hear 5 of them at a time. But in the course of hearing these psychopaths' voices in my head for the past 8 years, I could probably easily, if I really sat and concentrated with these terrorists, I could probably count at least 20, 25 voices. More than that, for sure. I mean, the ones that are consistent, okay? But I hear more than that for sure, because they try to blend in and camouflage with the environment. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So I was thinking about Wadia's murder, and it kind of made me think that maybe each one of these terrorists has possession or permissions to use the weapon. And when they initiate, like when they get ready to work something, like to traffic and frame a group of people, and they're getting ready to set something up to basically to tie themselves together to make sure that all the terrorists, not one of them is going to rat the other one out. They go in and murder somebody, and they do it together. And you know what? Manny, there's another case similar to that, but he ended up with brain damage. Wadia died. He was 7 years old, and it seems to me like, based on the repetition of like the way these terrorists are causing me a stroke, it's almost like it's like increments. Like someone is going, it's like one person, then the next person, then the next person, but each person isn't like they're doing it for seconds at a time. And it's almost as though they're doing it so their weapon doesn't get flagged, or their records don't get flagged. Okay? And I have a feeling because I was like, why stab a boy 27 times? All it takes is once. Like, why mutilate a child? And it started to make me think that the stupid psycho men talking in my fucking head each took a turn stabbing that boy, so that they could basically have shit on each other, and not one of the terrorists in their terrorist organization rats the other one out. That's their way of solidifying or making sure that They basically, they're tied in it together. And if I had to guess, the stabs that were going on, okay, if I could guess, and I'm almost positive my guess is like, it is probably so close to fucking perfect on this, because the terrorists talking in my head have to keep the weapon going. They got to keep it they got to keep triggering it. He probably did it like one after the other immediately, and they're playing with my head so I can't explain. They're causing me strokes. That's why I keep stuttering. And you can hear. So imagine how often I stutter, or I'm like see, I'm repeating myself. I'm stuttering. So imagine that the terrorists, based on how often I stutter, that's the frequency and the duration of time between each stab. If I had to guess, it's the terrorist. They're suffocating me right now. They're suffocating me. He's one of the men is causing me a stroke, while the other one is closing my airways. Another situation similar to that was Manny. So Manny was my ex-husband's close friend. And I can't remember, he was walking somewhere. He was somewhere. And it was him and two other boys. And they were walking home. And a group of like 15 to 20, 25 guys go and beat Manny with bats. And two of the two boys that were with him, they couldn't fight back. I mean, the group that they were being jumped by they outnumbered them, obviously. So they took off running, and Manny got stuck in the middle of them, and they beat him with a bat, or several bats, until they caused him brain damage. And he ended up in the hospital, and I don't know if he had I'm sure he had a concussion. He has brain damage. The terrorists, now Manny's situation, for damn sure, is the terrorists talking in my fucking head. It's their dads, it's their uncles, it's their brothers. It's these psychopaths need to be sentenced to fucking death. Do you hear? Death. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists, and the women. The terrorist women talking in my head today, their parents are the ones that use the weapon to traffic all those boys to jump Manny. And now their terrorists, their daughters are fucking psycho-ass terrorists screaming in my fucking head today. These fucking stupid bitches, they're not having kids and like taking off running. They're raising fucking terrorists. They're with these men. They're supporting these men. They're trying to cover up for these men. These are stupid fucking psycho bitches. And then they're contributing by having kids and raising fucking more terrorists. The women, dude. Because how the fuck would these men continue on if no woman wanted to sleep with them? What fucking fight would they fucking have? It's the fucking women, I'm telling you. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my fucking head. Do you hear me? They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my fucking head. If these men didn't think that they were going to have kids and their kids were going to inherit the money and they were going to, like, what the fuck would be the point of putting in all this work? What the fucking doing? What is this? So it starts with the women basically, they're playing with my head. They're playing with my head. Agreeing or wanting to be a part of this terrorist psycho shit. This terrorist organization. They're the ones that the men are asking them for permission to go into, to be involved with this terrorist organization. And the women they're agreeing because they're playing with my head. They're playing with my head. Condoning, they are agreeing, they are supporting, they are looking for ways to help their men get away with murder. One of the men is laughing in my head right now, and he's like, "You fucking retard, haha, I'm causing you a stroke, bitch." And I know he's that type of a piece of shit. There's no way in fucking hell this piece of shit, if I were to say, there's no way in fucking hell, he's a piece of shit. He's too scared to see me in person. It's the women. Like, baby, if you're gonna sleep with me and have my child so I can go ahead and make this and basically murder, frame, defame, and launder this money, I swear to God, I'll be a part of it. Like, that is what's going on here. That is what these fucking stupid psycho terrorists are fucking doing. And then if you hear what their kids sound like, their adult children talking in my fucking head today, they're sick in the fucking head. Do you hear me? The women are stupid fucking bitches. It was up to them. They left it up to the women whether or not they should get involved with all this bullshit murdering and trafficking and taking control of people's minds and using them like puppets and they're abusing me. They're causing me a stroke. They gave my dad a heart attack, several heart attacks, and now they're causing me strokes. Do you hear me? I'm stuttering. Because they don't want me explaining. So who the fuck has, like, okay, let's say, I mean, they're all both, obviously the men are fucking psycho. But at least they had the fucking decency to ask these fucking bitches. So somewhere in their fucking psycho ass fucking terrorist minds, it connects to their fucking feelings and their stupid fucking weird ass hearts. If you could believe it. The fucking stupid psycho terrorist bitches though. And then I'm crying over Wadia. I cry over Wadia. I cry over, that was their only son. Okay. The Palestinian couple in Chicago, that was their only son. And God knows if they could have more kids. And that puts a strain on the relationship. And they're much older now. Mark and Jacob Iscandar. Okay, that's a whole nother story. But I cry over Mark and Jacob Iscandar. Like, I look at women who have lost their children and I cry. And all the women and people that attend these, to stand by these people who have lost their children, all these women, Mark and Jacob Iscandar, Nancy, the women and the men that came together, the women in particular, I want to really highlight how women are. They put on, they put ceremonies together, they got signs, they picket, they'll want it, they work together to organize, ways to prevent drunk driving from like, the women really partake in being there. Why the fuck is it that the terrorist women talking in my fucking head are so fucking cold-hearted that they sit there and talk in my daughter's head and tell me they're talking in her fucking head? How could they fucking be so fucking psycho when it's supposed to be in a woman's innate nature to be caring and nurturing and loving and compassionate? Over my dead body will I ever stop saying what the fuck I hear these women say and what they've said in my fucking head. There is no way they want to, after I die, and if they, assuming they could get away with talking in my fucking head, which they can't, because I already know that the government wants them sentenced to death. And they didn't want me explaining that I hear them in my fucking head. But they were really optimistic, thinking they were going to just murder me, and I wasn't going to say anything about hearing them in my head. I wasn't going to repeat what they've said in my head, that I wasn't going to document everything that they've done, that they were going to manipulate me into wanting to sleep with men rather than to realize I'm being murdered. And they're trying to find a way to get away with it. And then after they get away with it, this is the funny part, this is the crazy part, is that they pretend to be the women that we actually are, to turn around and in front of everyone pretend like they've earned the money that they have and that they're compassionate, loving women wanting to contribute to empowering women and being there for women, and bullshit over there is no way over my dead body. They're Egyptian. The men are laughing like, you fucking stupid bitch. And it's a click of a button, and I could drop dead right now, and I know it. And I don't fucking care, as long as I drop dead after I've said everything I fucking need to say about the terrorist Egyptian American Muslim women talking in my fucking head. So he can laugh all he wants, but he's not going to be laughing when those bitches are facing the death penalty. I said this isn't a fucking joke. They need to find their way the fuck out of my fucking head. They're a terrorist organization laundering trillions of dollars, okay? And their job is to find they want to be, excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me go back. They're laundering trillions of dollars with this weapon that they're using to talk in my head. That's why we're in a deficit in the United States. Okay? And then they want to be respected and want control over people and countries and whatever they can get their hands on, okay? But yet they're too stupid to fucking find a way out. If I say I hear them in my fucking head, find a way out of the death penalty. I mean, it's really as simple as me fucking live streaming all day long, making it clear that the voices I hear in my head, I can't capture on my live stream, make it clear that I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Okay? Make it clear that I love my kids, that I'm there for them, make it clear, guys, by going to work, they're playing with my head. I registered for classes for a whole year so I could finish up my AA, so that I opened up a few more doors. Okay? And then I'm also, because my family doesn't know this weapon exists. Nobody knows that this weapon exists. People think I'm schizophrenic, which is fine. So I submissively go to seek medical attention, because regardless, they're playing with my head. I don't know if the government is calling it schizophrenia because they want the weapon to stop looking for the voices. They want it to, at some point, it must come to a point where it's like, okay, I no longer have to investigate. This is clearly a mental condition. And in which case they're administering medications to protect us victims of the terrorist crimes. So I go gladly, willingly and submissively to take to go seek psychiatric help, and I take the medications, and I don't fucking care who knows that I don't care what people call it. I don't care what they call terrorist hacking in your head. I don't care if they call it schizophrenia. I don't give a fuck. Plus, I want it documented on medical records, because those are legal records. And mind you, Medi-Cal is paying for it. The government insurance is paying for it. State insurance is paying for it. And I'm making it clear so that they have access to all of my fucking records. I want these terrorists sentenced to fucking death. Do you hear me? Wadira's mom was there when Wadira was getting stabbed to death. Okay? I don't know how conscious she was, because these terrorists could play with her head, but she might have been a witness to how, like, I want to call it frequency, but basically like the timing between each stab. Like, did he stab him a couple times and get up and fight her off and then go back and stab him some more? Or was it like 27 times in a row? Because the way these terrorists talk, how excessively they talk in my head, how frequently they're attacking me, they're making my body swell, they're making my face swell, they make my nose drip, they've made my hair fall out, like, it's constant. It's literally almost every second of the fucking day that I feel as though it's to the beat of the weapon's drum, basically, for lack of a better way of explaining it. The terrorists talking in my head are not just permitted to sit behind that weapon. They can't just leisurely sit there. The weapon does it's an AI weapon that it basically, if I were somebody that needed investigating, what it would do is they would say Renee's a suspect. Okay, and this is my theory about how the weapon works based on how these terrorists behave. So it basically conducts a investigation. It's not like a full-on surveillance. But I think what it does is like it goes through all my medical records, it goes through criminal records, it checks all my neighbors, my friends, it looks to inside to see what, what evidence it can find, and it goes through everything as thoroughly as possible. Okay. And I believe it does it within seconds to a few hours, depending on what's available and how quickly, like it has, I mean, it's a system that has access to DMV records, IRS records, every system, period. Okay? So I'm sure they're playing with my head. I'm sure that it's like, it takes only a few minutes to maybe like a couple hours at tops, especially because, and why I think possibly hours, because I will be sitting in front of my computer at work, and after like 2 or 3 hours, the women talking in my head literally lose their fucking minds, because it's as if the weapon's supposed to be timing out, and now I'm sitting in a room full of other people who do not hear them, and it's voice activated, okay? And they have to like start talking or attacking me, and when they attack me it's voice activated, and so they have to talk, and they want like, and so they start to freak out like, okay, it's going to be obvious, it's going to like, and they say it all the time. I mean, in so many words, they say to me in my head, get your office, who the fuck said you can work? In my head, the terrorist. So based on that, so my phone died. But I want to pick up where I left off. My phone had just died. Um, no, I never said I didn't take my meds. I always take my meds. Um, so anyways, I want to go back. I don't care about these. Like the one thing I like about the comments that I get when I'm live streaming, is that it's obvious that people can log into my live stream, because the terrorists, like I said, I'll go back to that. The terrorists always want to make it sound like the voices I hear are coming from outside, because they're not permitted to investigate someone who's saying they have schizophrenia, and they're talking in my fucking head. So it's like, and obviously it's too suspicious, that they're behind a mind control, mind reading, telepathy war weapon, and now I'm screaming I have schizophrenia. And so on top, they want to try and make it sound like voices coming from outside. So live streaming makes it clear I can't capture their voices on my live stream. But what was I saying? And they're playing with my head, so I don't make complete sense. Um, 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 what was I going to say? So about the weapon and it timing out. So as far as the terrorists talking in my head, The I can almost guarantee that boy in Chicago, if his mom were to try and re re although that would be so fucking hard for her, if she was conscious and she actually witnessed it, if she could demonstrate um, the attack and how I can almost guarantee it's to the beat of these terrorists talking, like the way this weapon would have timed out. So, like I was saying, the weapon, if I had to guess, okay, does a complete investigation on its own, and once it does an investigation, it concludes its investigation. It doesn't continue to surveil, and it spits out its findings, and then based on the fact that if there's something to review and it needs human intervention, okay, then it flags the records, and then whoever governs over these records, okay, when they're flagged, takes a look at them, and then they decide, how to best handle the situation. So with that said, the terrorists talking in my head, they're like constantly screaming in my fucking head, and it's almost like I can almost guarantee every murder, every situation where someone was either murdered, or they're acting weird, or have mental illness, and you know how we see them and they're bent over, or they're like moving around, or they're flopping around, unless the terrorists have like completely put them out on their ass and they're like laid out like in an unconscious state pretty much. That all those jerk movements are the terrorists talking in my head, trying to keep the weapon from logging out, so that they could continue to use it and traffic people by the masses and launder money. And they're trying to make it look like there's something to investigate when there's not, dude. They're the ones that need investigating. So, anyways, like I said, the terrorists talking in my head want me focused on the comments that are being made, which don't matter to me because they want me uncomfortable. Like, I want you to understand. So, because why in God's name would my schizophrenic voices worry about what I'm saying, or to who I'm saying it to, or on what platform I say it? And in what world does schizophrenia make your hair fall out? 98% of it. Or make your body swell. Or stretch the skin of your forehead. Or cause you varicose veins. Like, dude, I went from never even having a cold to now I have sciatica. I went and I got checked I got an MRI. My MRI, they said I have a little bit of spinal stenosis. And the terrorists talking in my head they will squeeze my muscles in my back together so that my spine, the bones between the bones, okay, squish together, push the disc out of the edges of the spine, okay, and push on my nerve. And while they destroy the tissue, and it's almost like they want to rub bone on bone. Like, that is how painful it is. That's how much they contract my back. It's like having a Charlie horse in your back, but someone's just holding that Charlie horse in place for hours at a time. And they do that so that I don't clean up, so I don't cook, so I'm not with my family, so I don't go out. And honest to God, because I know that they want to isolate me so badly and they want to traffic me into homelessness. They want me begging men for a place to sleep so that I can catch AIDS, and they want to throw me out on the street where I catch gangrene and I just die while they launder money and spoil the shit out of their fucking kids. And then, and in the interim of doing that to me, deprive my daughter of having a mother that she needs and a son with a mother that she needs or he needs. Okay, their dad is not, I'm their only lifeline. The women talking in my head are these are the coldest blooded murderers on the face of this fucking planet. I'm telling you. I am fucking telling you. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They are talking in my fucking head. And they run around taking pictures, getting their body done. I've never seen them, but they tell me in my head and I believe every fucking word. If you heard how cocky these bitches were when they first started talking in my head, now they're not so fucking cocky. Now they're more threatening and stupid and psycho. Before it was like, hi, ha, stupid bitch, I'm sexy. Ha, can you hear the jewelry on my wrist? Can you hear the jewelry on my wrist? Now it's like, okay, Renee is actually saying she hears us in her fucking head and she's telling everyone. And not only that, she's live streaming. People are commenting on her. People are commenting on her live streams. Like, this bitch is explaining, and she's seeking medical attention, and she's going in for her social security, and she's going to get housing assistance, and she's making sure she's with her daughter and her family, and she doesn't want to fucking do drugs, and she doesn't want to sleep around, and she doesn't want to argue with anybody about it being schizophrenia. She doesn't fucking care if people call it schizophrenia or not. And they're now they're starting to see it. They're playing with my head. Now they're starting to see me in a different light. But but it's a death penalty. They're going to face a death penalty. So they're still like these childish, like it's still this childish mentality. Like, despite the fact that I am making every effort to make it clear that on their records and on records in general, that I hear those bitches in my fucking head. And I make it clear they're murdering me. Okay? So, what was I saying? Oh, and I need to go back on this whole situation about them being terrorists. I don't know if I made it clear enough. They're laundering trillions of dollars. And they want to be looked at like a force to be reckoned with. And their only job, and thank God, because I hear all these other targeted individuals who are too scared to say that they hear the voices in their head, or they think that the psychiatrists are drugging them, and they think that the psychiatrists are in on it and they're talking in their heads too, and they think their family, like, I am so glad I have a strong head on my shoulders, that I am not insecure in the least bit. But these people are like, the terrorists talking in my head play on this is how simple it is, or how simple it could be, okay, for them to get away with the crime, is to basically play on people's insecurities. And for me, after what I've heard them say, and thank God I understand them, and partly because I'm Egyptian and I understand the Egyptian, like, it's just arrogance and ignorance and games and I'm going to be completely honest, I am not fond of our like, as a whole, I'm not really all that fond of the way we communicate with one another, the way we talk, the sneaky, like, and I just, the whole oppressing women and hurting each other and talking behind each other's backs. Like, this woman's, she's sleeping because it helps the terrorists talking in my head get away with the fucking crimes they're committing. So anyways, back to what I was saying. So about them being a force to be reckoned with. Now I want to fucking make it very clear who the fuck the force to be reckoned with is, and I want to make it even more fucking clear these are worthless fucking trash who can't find their way out of this death sentence that they're about to be fucking facing if me and my daughter or my mom don't see them in court and get our money and sentence them to death. Them and their psycho terrorist kids. The government already made it clear if these terrorist kids turn 18 and they spend a dime of that laundered money, they're facing the death penalty. They're being put on the terrorist watch list, and they're facing the death penalty just like their stupid psycho parents. And so now I want to fucking make it super fucking clear. Like, how stupid are these fucking women talking in my fucking head? Dude, if they hack into, and then mind you, if there was a crime committed here, it entitles the United States government to these terrorist records. And if anything by a corporation big enough to put a stop to these terrorists, they're not going to do it. So if it's YouTube and hacking into YouTube, they're not going to do it. If it's something getting hacked, the terrorists, they're not going to make it look, I mean, they may, but the likelihood of them doing that is less likely because they don't want the government to say, well, people's, their accounts got hacked and this is private information and this is the government and this is a huge corporation and they're contributing to FEMA and they're contributing to this and this and this is a security issue and this is a huge detriment to our country's well-being. So the terrorists obviously they don't want the government to have dibs on their records. So they're like, they do little stupid weird shit, like attack me, call me ugly all day long. Like, and then it blows my fucking mind. Like, how are you bitches pushing trillions of fucking dollars? Okay. But can't fucking figure out a way to get to have access to your records. Like, why can't you hack into wherever the records are stored? Or why and destroy your records without murdering people? Or talking in their fucking heads. Why the fuck can't you make my neighbors hear what I hear? Why can't you stupid psycho terrorist bitches, why can't I capture your voice on my live stream? Why is it that why are you talking in my head? You don't know how to hack in heads? Wouldn't you have to know how to hack in heads before you know how to talk in them? And if you knew how to hack in heads, why the fuck would you go further to talk in someone's head? And you know what just dawned on me? That's exactly the rationale they had when they said it has to be voice activated. Okay, because it's like, well, it took us to get in these, we can hack heads. Okay, so let's make sure that They're like, let's make sure that with it comes a voice, because if in fact it's just them hacking in people's heads, there will be no evidence, okay, to them hacking in, playing with people's heads. And which makes it clear that these terrorists talking in my head, okay, are clearly asking for permissions to use this weapon and dodging like the security measures, and they're playing with my head, bypassing the securities that are on it, just like a YouTube video. I don't know if anybody ever does a YouTube live. So being that I've been doing YouTube live for about a year now, or maybe a little less than a year, I've been kicked off twice, and the system, okay, will literally do a self-analysis of all of the content that gets put out on YouTube, and if it violates YouTube rules, it flags the live stream. Well, the system that these terrorists are on is the same. It's the same concept. Okay? It looks for cues and things to see if in fact the records need to be flagged. And the terrorists talking in my head know damn well how what flags the records and what doesn't, and what and basically what security measures are placed on the weapon that trigger it. Like what keywords, what cues, what this, what that. And they're so stupid to, because they're so obsessed with me, and they're so obsessed with their stupid script that they keep playing over and over again in my head, that I started to pick up on how the weapon works, so I could protect myself and my family and make sure for damn sure that they get sentenced to death, no matter whether I die or if and I mean, obviously if I'm here and they're playing with my head, and they're going to court, and I'm seeing them in court, for damn sure they're facing the death penalty then. But in case I die, I want to make it so fucking clear, so damn clear, so ridiculously clear. I hear Egyptian American Muslim women, terrorists talking inside my head with a war weapon. Do you hear me? And these psychos are pushing trillions and trillions of dollars. And they want to say that they're a force to be reckoned with. Well, I want them to use their intellect to find their way out of this death penalty. Because now I know how the weapon, the security measures on the weapon, I know, and you know what? They use the same consistent voices. Here's another thing that came to me. And you know what I was thinking? Every time they attack me and I get so fucking fed up, I have epiphanies. And because I'm just so fucking in this state of shock. And when you're in this state of shock, okay, or you're like in a state of fear, or in a state of like, you're like, just, you need a solution. Your body, honest to God, most natural, like on its own, will just start to think in ways that you would never imagine, to figure out how to protect yourself. And my epiphany was that, hold on, they're playing with my head. I literally went blank because he's playing with my head right now. What was I going to say? I should have just said it. Oh, the voices. Okay, so the voices are consistent. Oh. I can almost guarantee, okay, that any person that hears the voices, okay, that is homeless, okay, because I hear the same repetitive voices, and there are reasons to why I hear it. For one, okay, the same voices tie records together. Okay? 2, the terrorists talking in my head, um, their organization also, I'm sure, wants each individual person so that the entire organization doesn't fall, okay? Because of one group or one person they want them to have an assigned voice, so they're held responsible and accountable for just for that, rather than it being something that they all get investigated for. um third, I and this is regarding the victims of these psychopaths crimes. I can almost guarantee, okay, because these voices they're consistent. I've been hearing them for the same voices for the past 8 years. That the homeless people, because they want me homeless and they want it to sound like voices coming from outside. And mind you, here, so when the terrorists talk in your head, your ears don't vibrate the way they do. Your eardrum doesn't vibrate the way it would if someone were to be talking to you. Okay. And being that that's the case, and I'm here in my condo, okay, there's nobody here in my face, okay, and there's nothing, and that's probably why they want the fan on all the time, because there's a vibration that hits your eardrum and they want to follow the pattern of that vibration. Okay, so that they can keep the weapon triggered while they murder their victims and bypass the securities, and at the same time defame them and make them look like there's something to investigate. So being that and mind you, they want their victims, and this is why Skid Row is where it is. It's in LA, where most people go, because it's Hollywood. It's like it's the city to go to when you come to California. So you'll find most of these homeless communities in places where you'll find a lot of tourists. So the terrorist talking in my head can say that there was no way to identify where the voices these homeless people were coming from, and further to talk in the same waves as the sounds of cars driving by, so that it doesn't disturb the weapon, so the weapon doesn't say, something doesn't add up here, her eardrums aren't vibrating, okay, but yet she's hearing voices. So they want them in environments where there's constantly noise and people that people visiting, not actual residents. And they want to sound like people driving by saying, bitch, bitch. And I'm sure the way these terrorists do it, they probably use their voices like they probably have a script or a pattern, in which they make it sound a little bit. I mean, I'm sure it's like a voice and it's variations of that voice, because that they do the same thing with me. So it's like, it'll be one of the women talking in my head, and then she'll have a really squeaky voice, or she'll have a really deep voice, but it's that same voice. Like, I can be squeaky and I can sound deep. So it's the same concept. So I'm sure they do stupid shit like that. Okay, and they always want me to have they used to want me to have my air conditioner on, but they don't want me to staying at home, because if I turn on the AC and I pay for my electricity, and Edison is so damn forgiving if you don't pay, and they're willing to even give you this, it's called arrears program, where they pay off all your debt. You could literally be $8,000 behind, and they will forgive the entire debt, okay? With Edison, if you go back and you pay for 12 months consecutively and in on time. They will forgive your entire $8,000 electric bill. Trust me, I know. So it's like, oh, well, she's too comfortable, and there are too many resources. And besides the fact she's not doing what we need her to do to make it look like we're investigating her. I'm sure they made my AC overheat. Similar to how they made my first Mercedes, it just stopped on the freeway, literally, and they kept choking the engine. Same like what they did to my Volkswagen. It was like a week or two after the warranty went up, and literally at a red light, it stopped. It just stopped on me. It just stopped working. And the terrorists talking in my head, laughing, and they're laughing. And you know what's so funny? The whole time I was driving it during the time, because then they were thinking, oh, there's lemon law, and I might pick up on the lemon law. But I think when I didn't, and I ended up buying the Mercedes after the Volkswagen, I think they didn't think that, hey, it would show up in my feed. And here I am the day after, looking for a solution to my problem. And here it's like God, like literally, I was scrolling through Instagram, and it was like, looking for, if your car is not working and you have a manufacturer warranty, call us, we'll fight for you. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I ended up going to Lemon Law to make it clear that the car wasn't working. And I kept records, and I guess the terrorist talking in my head wanted to make it look like it wasn't a good car, like, but I surpassed the time. But oh my God, luckily it didn't happen. They wanted to destroy my car. And with the Volkswagen, from the minute I bought it, and I kept thinking, God, this car is just chugging along. It's not really like floating. Like when you buy a new car, a brand new, no one's ever driven it before, off the lot, it's supposed to float, okay? And I kept thinking, this just does not feel right. But I loved it, and I drove it, and it was my baby. I took care of it. It was right literally after the 5-year warranty went up, and immediately it stopped working. And my mom, when I got that Mercedes, she put $20,000 down on it and financed $20,000 and helped me pay for it. The stupid bitches talking in my head are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my fucking head. Do you fucking hear me? And now they want to choke the shit out of my new car's engine. And they're like, okay, stupid bitch, we won't make that mistake. Why are my schizophrenic voices saying we won't make that mistake again about choking my car and having it break down on me before the warranty's up? We'll just wait till after the warranty and you won't fucking have a car, bitch. That's what they kept saying. They're stupid psycho trash. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists and their stupid psycho families talking in my fucking head. He's threatening me. He's already murdering me, and this is how stupid they are. I'm deader. That is the solution to this terrorist talking in my head's problems, is to tell me I'm deader than I already fucking am. They're already murdering me. What? How can you be deader? How could he murder me more? He's talking in my fucking head. He's in my head. Like, This isn't like this fool is running up on me with a gun. He's talking in my fucking head with a mind control, mind reading, telepathy war weapon that can take control of your vehicles and your devices. It can change the words, your predictable words when you're texting. It's 12:30. I really need to sleep. I had to go off. I want them sentenced to fucking death, dude. They're talking in my fucking head. I want to protect my daughter. I want this weapon out in the wide open. I want it to be public that this weapon exists. I want people to start working to securitize themselves from this weapon, period. And I honestly think the government has a means to do it. But they don't want these terrorists getting away with this. And if they don't come forward, they want to investigate them and sentence them to death the same way these bitches murdered people. That's what I honest to God think. And they don't want anybody to get in the way because of how many they committed genocide. This is mass murder. They're massive in the African American community alone. And mind you, why the African Americans are significant in this situation? These are terrorists from the Middle East. They're talking in my head. They're responsible for 9/11. The people that were sentenced to death for 9/11 were victims of these terrorist crimes. The actual fucking terrorists are talking in my fucking head today. Okay? They flew planes into the towers. They're so fucking dead. And I don't know if that's where, no, there's no way the records are stored there. And I don't think that would be, even if there were records stored somewhere in the tower, or I doubt it. Wherever the records are stored, these terrorists don't have access to it. They couldn't fly a plane into it if they wanted to. Why don't you fly a plane into where the records are stored? Like, I'm honest to God, I'm talking in the mirror. Like, why are they murdering me? Because more than one, it's so many countries, so many central intelligence agencies that possess these records. So even if they'd have to fly planes into every database center. And then if it's stored in a cloud, it doesn't even fucking matter. They could fly everything into anything they fucking want. I guess that's why, because I'm like, why aren't these bitches finding another way to their records? Like, why aren't they making it obvious they're a force to be reckoned with? Why is it as silly as talking in my head and trying to make me feel insecure about my hair or what I look like in pictures or how ugly I am or how fat I look or why is it this? Like, what? You're supposed to be the piece of shit behind this weapon? Talking in my fucking head? You're the one pushing trillions? Like, dude, oh my God, if you don't show your fucking intellect while I'm sitting here and you're actually causing me brain damage? Homeboy is about to get sentenced to fucking death on God. And it's threat after threat after threat after threat after threat. Like, if you keep posting, like, as soon as I say it, I pick up my phone and I start posting. Like, what are you, stupid? And for me to say this, if the government were to clock in and look at my live stream while I'm discussing these terrorists right now, how stupid stupid they would look in front of them. I am baffled. And then, mind you, Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, they are world stars. Okay, they are known all over the globe. Okay, and they are outwardly in their lyrics saying they're sentencing these terrorists to death. J. Cole says it. I'm on your block. Ayadi. Ayadi means regularly in Arabic, and he's talking to them in Arabic because he wants them to know he's talking to them specifically. Kendrick Lamar says in that they not like us. They not like us. We put your ass on the cross, or tizo. He says tizo on the cross. Your ass is on the cross. Tizo in Arabic means ass on the cross. Beyonce does a subliminal message. She says in her song Blow, tizik, which is the feminine of tizo, which means your ass, but feminine, has no self-control. Okay? Basically, haha, bitches, you don't know how to get out of this. Like, haha, the weapon is on a timer, it's voice activated. Watch you, stupid psycho terrorists, not have any self-control to make sure these, like, to bypass these securities. And she says, tizik, no self-control, but it sounds like tease it. No self-control, tease it. Mm-hmm. But she's actually saying tizik with a K. And in her song Energy, she says, I just walked in the country with derringers. Them Karens turned into terrorists. Karens, Cairene. Karens. That, if you look up the definition, means Egyptians or Egyptian terrorists. Really, it's pertaining to the terrorists talking in my head. And the hashtag, and then Karen, that whole, like, although they spelled it with a K, and because they don't want it to be this whole thing like, oh, you know, they're defaming or they're hurting. They didn't want to disrupt the entire Egyptian community. So they wrote it out Karen, like how we see Karen, Karen. But really, they're saying Karen, Cairene. And Karen, mind you, okay, is where these terrorists pick up complaints that Muslims are being persecuted or feeling like they're not, and it's a legal organization. It's a firm. And they're telling them, hey, we've experienced discrimination. So the terrorists talking in my head go into their files and they use those complaints to use the weapon. And the people putting in complaints are just as much victims as the people as Christians. This is not a Muslim thing. These terrorists talking in my head are terrorists. They're turning Christians and Muslims against each other. These are stupid psycho terrorists talking in my fucking head. Okay, and the first part of the word stands for care, where they get their where they first start to dig for documents to quote unquote make claims that they need the weapon to investigate. The end of the word ends in Rene, which is my name, Renee. Renee. Cairene. Rene. My name, Renee. And the hashtag, that hashtag that was before the Karens, I forgot to mention that whole thing that went viral with the whole Karens beating each other, the women, and it was women. And like I keep saying, I hear Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. Okay. So the whole thing about that, going viral, that hashtag actually means you're going to jail. It's like jail cell, bar cells. Okay? It's a subliminal message. Like, haha, you're getting TikTok is like, haha, the clock is ticking. All these corporations are in it to sentence the terrorists to death. And they're not fucking around. And the women talking in my head are going, after everything they've done and all the money they laundered, hee ha ha, you're ugly. You're ugly. They're talking in my head saying, you're ugly, you stupid bitch, ha, 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 all day long. Dude, I'm making these records clear. They better prove their intellects or they're so fucking getting sentenced to death. I'm not fucking joking. I want them sentenced to death. So after like this, I couldn't take it anymore. It's already almost 1 o'clock. The terrorists want to say, oh, this is why you wake up late. No, I don't. I hardly ever do this. I'm usually in bed. I just had an engagement today. I got home around 11:45. And I couldn't take it anymore. I'm just like, because I'm at the point where it's like, I'm talking to them and they don't want to admit that this is far more serious, obviously, because there's a record and they're being recorded. They're talking in my head, and that the record produced with the weapon that they're using to talk in my head records everything that is said in my head and outside of my head. What is being said to me externally and internally in my head. And furthermore, really honestly, they need to just get the fuck out of my head. I don't even want to fucking hear what the fuck they have to say, to be completely honest. For me to even say that, I sound stupid. I actually sound retarded. They need to be sentenced to death. I keep telling them, like, I'm not joking around. I'm going to keep explaining, and I don't give a shit who knows what I hear and what you've said in my head. The men are like, you're so fat. You're so fat. They think I'm stupid. Like, oh, like they like as if I don't know. They've already demonstrated the weapon is a mind control weapon. They want me to go sleep with men and then control their minds so that they don't want to, so that they're sleeping around with all kinds of women, or they leave me and I have to, I'm back at square one looking for another guy until I catch AIDS or something. And then furthermore, they want me, and better to have me, they want me arguing with my family saying I don't have schizophrenia and F you guys, you're this, you're that, you don't believe me, like you must be, they want the terrorists because I'm not doing that. But ultimately that's what they wish would have happened, because I wouldn't be living like this right now. And they wanted me out in the streets begging men for a place to sleep till I catch AIDS. Swear to God. And they keep calling me whore, 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 whore. And the men think I'm stupid. They think like they're gonna hurt my feelings to the degree that I'm gonna be so stupid to go sleep with men and catch AIDS. Like I really was a shy girl, and I really didn't like being around a lot of men in general, unless I had a man. Okay? I'm not the type that wants to compete with a man. I'm not the type that wants to show off and like I'm not the type that thinks it's sexy that I've dated 8 million men. I'm not that type. And when I was dating and I was actually like legitimately dating this guy, I was actually annoyed with him because I preferred hanging out with my kids. And he'd want to see me. And I'd be in my pajamas and comfortable. Like, I'm really not the fucking type. And I was really dating him, like, and still I didn't want to make that effort. Like, these terrorists talking in my head are so fucking out of their fucking minds. And then my mom to me exceeds Saint Mary, dude. She is the equivalent, if not better. Like this woman, when she throws a book at you, it's the Bible. And she fucking means it. And she lives by it. And if she heard me cursing right now, she'd be so upset with me. And she would say that's so, like, not godlike, and that's not feminine, and that's not this, and that's not attractive, and good men don't like that. That is my mom. At 40, she doesn't want me to take a man to a wedding as a friend. She's like, how is that going to look? I'm like, I'm 40. She's like, it doesn't fucking matter. You guys aren't seeing each other seriously. You're not married. Of course you can't take him. And she meant it. And her word goes. In my life, her word goes. I don't care. I don't give a shit. But I was kind of disappointed. I was just like, damn, my friend wants to go with me. He knows I have schizophrenia. This isn't a date. I told him I'm not looking to date anybody. And he just wants to be there to be supportive. And my mom was like, fuck no. Fuck no. That is the background that I come from. I could not say the word boys in my fucking house, and the terrorists talking in my fucking head think I'm gonna go fuck around with a bunch of men till I catch AIDS. They're so fucking stupid. They're so fucking out of their fucking goddamn minds. And then further, my daughter, to have her hear me say this over and over, and no money, and hurting me, and I'm having strokes, or I'm too dizzy, or I'm so tired I can't get out of bed, or my back is aching and I can't move, and I'm like, I am with it is taking every ounce of me to stand on my 2 feet and try to cook because she's tired of eating fast food or restaurant food. And tired of hearing me say I'm tired. She has the right to feel that way. And it hurts me. She is healthy and young and vibrant and beautiful and funny and smart and sweet and honest and considerate. There is no way in fucking hell I'm letting these Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my fucking head get away with this shit. You hear me? It is to the point that it's just like I can't cook my daughter a home cooked meal. The terrorists make me so fucking dizzy while I'm cooking. Twice or 3 times I've left the stove on all night, and once when I went to work and came home. This entire condo could have burned up into flames. I went to work one time and left the shower on the entire time I was at work. They are crippling me. And it's as far as not being like trying to prevent me from cooking for my daughter, not taking her on a trip to across the world so she can sit on her behind and tan like their daughters do. The terrorists talking in my head's daughters do, and like the women do. Okay? And to take pictures of her, and every time she steps foot out of her room, she's dressed up to kill. It's to the point that they're torturing me and crippling me so I cannot cook a warm home cooked meal that tastes good for my daughter. I'm so dizzy. I am so dizzy. Like, it's not even funny. I want these women sentenced to death. Do you hear me? They're talking in my fucking head. They are talking in my head. They are talking in my head. I seek medical attention. Do you understand how much it hurts me to see these men who lay eyes on me that are so attractive, that want to court me, okay? And I know there's potential for marriage. Dude, I could get married to any guy I want. I could pick any guy in a crowd and marry, and I know he'll fall madly in love with me. I know what I'm worth. And to say to them, I hear voices in my head and I'm not in the right space. Okay? And to have to turn down love because these terrorists talking in my fucking head don't want to face the death penalty and save their kids from facing it too. They're like, no, we're all gonna like, and I'm baffled. I'm like, bitch, you're talking about your kids. Your kids are gonna get put on the terrorist watch list. I'm talking to the terrorists talking in my fucking head this way. Like, you stupid bitches. I'm gonna flag the record because I'm not gonna fucking die for you, and you're not gonna abuse the fuck out of my daughter and get away with it. And if the government said that your kids are gonna be placed on the terrorist watch list, you already fucking know they're not fucking joking. They blew up the entire fucking country of Palestine and Gaza. They're not fucking joking around. Like, get the fuck out of my fucking head. And then the women are like, ha ha, people are going to feel bad for our kids, and ha ha ha, I'm still fucking talking in your head, stupid bitch. Because they're going to think of me, if I get caught, as the most inconsiderate piece of shit. I was like, and it's things like that make me, like, they irk the shit out of me. Like, you stupid bitch. The government does not feel sorry for your kids after all of the murders you bitches are committing. And if they get hold of my record and they see me on live stream explaining over and over again that I hear Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists, that I'm starting to understand how the weapon works, they are not going to have mercy on them and their kids. And how I had to stop my entire everything. At this point, it's like, I don't know what to call it. What do you call this? They're facing the death penalty. Do you call them petty? They're serial killers. Do you call them petty? I don't know. There's not a word in the dictionary to define this very weird dynamic. Like, situation, what they're facing, how they're behaving. Like, there's nothing to describe this. This is so out of this world, psycho sick. I'm going to bed. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head, and I know they don't want me to sleep. Okay? They want to keep me up all night. I want to start going to the gym. I saw what I look like in pictures, And they already know the minute I see what I look like in pictures and I don't like what I see, I want to take my ass to the gym. So they know. So they're most likely going to be screaming all night long. Um, on occasion, I dip out and I will go check myself into an institution because they're so fucking rowdy that I want it documented that like it was too excessive. But they're trying to make it sound like voices coming from outside because it's clearly a conflict of interest for terrorists, for anybody to be investigating anybody who has schizophrenia with a telepathy war weapon. Um, um, so like I said, they're trying to they have a script that they go by, the terrorist talking in my head, that helps them bypass these records. One of which is when I'm in closed spaces to make it sound like voices coming from my neighbors that they want to pretend like it was the TV. They were listening to the TV, although they really don't want to say that because I've been here for 4 years and the owners of these condos are actually living in their condos and I see them all the time and they're not being rented first and foremost. And even if they were, the terrorists talking in my head have access to find out who lives next door and in fact can hack right into their heads to hear if they hear what I hear or to find out if they're talking behind those walls, if in fact they're the ones talking behind those walls. So they don't want there to be anything that would make them look suspicious. Okay, like, well, you fucking bitches, she was living next to this Palestinian guy for the last 2 years or year, and she's been living next to Randy um, and I forgot her name. And she comes and she brings me my cat and avocados and stuff from church all the time. What's wrong with me? I forgot her name, but my other neighbors, okay? And Hannah, who lives 2 doors down from them, or like I have the Persian guy. His name is Ali, and I have his last name, but I can't pronounce it. And then next to him is the Egyptian Hashem, and then above him is Hannah, and above her and next door to her on the top floor is a Persian family. I don't know their names, but I do see their mom all the time and their sons, and I say hi. I don't think I've seen I've seen the dad, but I don't think we've ever like exchanged, you know, looks or highs or buys or anything like that. Or maybe we have. I can't remember. And then on top of Randy and his wife, who are right next door to me, is another, they're renting, and it's Cece and her husband, who I can't remember whose name he is, but I went with her to the Buddhist temple. Okay. She invited me and I wanted to be polite and go and make it obvious that we're, as Christians, we're loving and open and to make her curious about Christianity as curious as much as she wanted me to be, I wanted her to feel like, hey, Christians aren't that bad, basically. So I went and I enjoyed it, to be completely honest. It reminded me of my Coptic Orthodox, um, our church service. Okay. Um, and so the terrorists they know who the fuck is living here. They have access. And especially because by the time the cops get here, and being that I'm within a visual, like I'm within a visual, I'm within like a where people can actually see me. They see my car outside. They see me walking into my condo. Okay. Being that it's within like a distance where, and then mind you, it's like, well, why would what? And then further questions to ask these terrorists are, hey, by if in fact they can see her, obviously, like why would they talk if they don't see her? Like what would be the point to disturb Renee or disturb who, or who are they arguing with if it's not Renee, right? So they obviously have to know that I'm here. And if they can see me, that means if I call the cops, they can see the cops. And when the cops get here and they have their cameras on, their vests and their cars, okay, it's like, well, then they'll stop talking. So the government made it very clear. They gave them they're playing with my head, everything they need at their disposal to conduct their investigation. On top of the fact that the weapon does it on its own. So they could go basically hack into my neighbors' heads and find out if they hear what I hear or if they're the ones saying it. Sorry, they're playing with my head. So that they can't make the claims. I'm sorry, I'm missing that. She started laughing like, retard, we just caused you a stroke. She's right. So that in the interim of the cops coming and driving up here, these terrorists talking in my head can collect the evidence that in fact they were screaming and being psycho and belligerent and violent to 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 fine them, sentence them, whatever they do. Investigate them further. Like, so the terrorists have everything at their disposal. So they can't even sit there and say, oh, they stopped talking when the cops showed up, because they have this weapon at their disposal that gives them everything they fucking need so that they can't make not one fucking goddamn excuse. Anyways, I have talked and talked and talked and talked. I'm ready to go. Good night. Look at how weird my head looks. Like, what is this? I don't care. Fuck, you don't fucking care. Hold. I'm done. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's your turn to talk. You're gonna talk, okay. One last thing. So the terrorists had me go on and on and on and on. And the minute I walk away so that I could start getting myself ready to sleep, the psycho terrorists talking in my head start talking to see if they could get me to sound like, to respond to them in a way that's violent or in a way that's belligerent, so that they can basically have this live stream flagged by YouTube so that I can't post or live stream again. So, and I've said everything I wanted to say. They think it's funny. Like, okay, haha, now it's our turn to talk. So I'm going to make it very clear. It's their turn to talk and I can't capture their voices on my live stream. You better act like a bitch. I'm not fucking playing. You're not about to defame me, you hear me? This is just color. Like I look at them and you're like, those are injuries. They wouldn't be terrorists if you did not agree to sleep with them, stupid bitch, and have their kids. Sentenced to life. You know what? I look really. أوضب الوقت ده حبيبي بقول لك أنت زبالة I don't exude with confidence, I exude with facts. I can make it a fact that you're too stupid to fucking find your way out of this death penalty. You fucking dumbass bitch. No, if you get it, you get it. Stop getting hung up on that. That's my line. Why you need it to vibrate? Go while people are still tampering, dumbass. Take care of the house. You go, we'll go take them out. It depends. Did you get a face down to the Did he show off his pockets? Are they retarded or are they not retarded? Oh my goodness. Oh my god, Lily, you wanna fucking save them? You want to save them to do what? دلوقتي الgovernment عايزاهم يموتوا. هتعملي if they fucking get in the position وهما they can say whatever they fucking want. الزبالة اللي قاعدين to talk in my head معاكي هما دول those are the ones you wanna fight for? مجنونة بشكل. حاجة مش معقول. When you get pregnant right away. Is that why you really want to sign? عشان يضرب في أبوه. When it comes to that point. That have ever walked the face of this earth. We have Oh, seen those women. No, you're the type of bitch that needs the same work as Chloe. There are women that really fucking look like that, though. I can guarantee it. Stupid bitch. You know, the only reason why is because somebody's retarding them. You fucking hooker. Why? We need me to die in the next 2 years? You know how alive I am? Mika, why are you so laid out? Hi, baby. Hi, my love. Alexa, set alarm for 6:30 a.m.
Alarm set for 6:30 a.m.
Maybe they are their sisters. Why don't they want to go cuddle up with their piece of shit? I keep thinking, call me brother. thing but the window. You may look. You have an advantage. You'll be the first ones to come forward. Okay, right here, church window. Alexa, set alarm for 6:30 a.m.
Alarm set for 6:30 a.m.
There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists still screaming in my head. I'm so sad. Oh my God. I am actually disappointed. I'm actually disappointed. Oh my God. Pushing up. Be respected. Oh my God. Please stop with the script. It actually hurts me. Oh my God. I am clearing these records. Why? I'm gonna make you. You're taking responsibility. You're fucking right. Don't talk to her. Don't talk. It's okay. The state of shock makes you want to talk. Which is Alexa, what time is it?
It's 2:08 a.m.
There are still Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists screaming. They are screaming in my head. and trying to make it sound like they're homeless people screaming outside. I want to make it super clear. I hear Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists screaming in my head, pretending to be homeless people talking outside. And mind you, they hardly take a breath between words, and they haven't stopped talking since I turned off my lights to lay down in my bed. Screaming in my head. They're trying to put me in a state of shock. So I want to, it's psychological. It's their way of trying to get you to talk or trying to get their victim to start talking again so that they could pretend like their voice is responding to you talking. And further, okay, to see if they could get me to sound belligerent and violent so that they're causing me a stroke. I can't say my S's. And furthermore, to see if they can get me to sound belligerent or violent so they can get me kicked off of YouTube. It's a tactic. It's a psychological, it's almost like an interrogation, like when someone interrogates the criminal or the suspect, to try to get them to start talking. It's that same concept, except they're talking in my head and they're causing me strokes while I'm laying in bed or when I start talking. These are psychopaths. The women are psycho. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists, and their weird terrorist families talking in my head. I just want to make it clear, I still hear them. Mm-hmm.